Hey there. So it's been a long time since I did any sort of YouTube update or paid any attention to it at all. Life's been pretty fucking hectic lately. For those who didn't hear or have no idea what's been going on, around, I can't remember. It's been weeks, but Facebook announced that they were going to start a crackdown on October 1st. And you read the fine print, and it said, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Pretty much. So, I had planned on my account getting deleted for a while now, even before I got that notice, but that was kind of when the doomsday clock started. And a lot of not only Boogaloo boys, but liberty activists knew that their time was going to come here pretty soon. Then, what was it, a couple weeks went past. Facebook removed the watch party feature from me. I've been paying a real sharp eye on the protests. I tend to pull up a whole shit ton of watch parties so I can just create my own surveillance screen of what's going on regarding the protests on like a nationwide level. Turns out Facebook caught on to what we were doing and didn't like the level of information that was able to be accessed in that manner. And that whole watch party situation came to a head, what was it? Not even a couple weeks ago. After 4 individuals who were associated with the Kyle Rittenhouse Kenosha shooting pressed a lawsuit against Facebook, alleging that they did nothing to stop the spread of information, and they were encouraging it. And not only was the Kenosha Guard named in that lawsuit, which is who Kyle Rittenhouse was there with, allegedly, but the Boogaloo boys themselves were named, even though they had nothing to do with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. The Boogaloo boy members who were there that night had already left, and they had nothing to do with that situation. I mean, not only that, they were there to help. They were the ones putting out the dumpster fires and everything else. But for those good deeds, they have a lawsuit pressing against Facebook. And so Facebook was trying to go on damage control. And yeah, and so a lot of us who were sharing these protests and live streams, we had our watch party capabilities taken away because it was too easy to gain access to those live feeds. And we knew a lot about the situations that were going on because we could see it. We didn't have to go through the mainstream media to find out what they wanted to say about the situation. We could see the truth unbridled. And, for that, we're named in a lawsuit. Interesting, and we all know it's bullshit. Then, last Friday, this was the 25th of September, and this was like, there was an early morning scare where Ron Paul had a stroke, and then I think it was maybe not even an hour later, he posted a thumbs up that he was okay. And right around that time frame, I was not even on the Facebook app. I think I was closed out of it, and I was watching something on YouTube, and all of a sudden I got the session expired notice, like, over my YouTube app. So, where in the past, I would never get banned until I had opened the Facebook app. This time, it was completely different. And it was like this session expired notice was sent right over top of all my other apps without the Facebook app even being open. And so at that point, I knew something real special had happened. I had already been banned on my Juan Connor account, and I was on my real profile. Yeah, got that notice, and then I went through, and I'll probably post the screenshot of the notice, but what it basically amounts to is you're associated with a terrorist organization, and we're deleting 12 years of your shit. So, yeah, all the pictures on my real account, all the information I've gathered, aside from what I've slapped on YouTube, all that shit's gone. And that happened on my real profile. So I switched devices because that's how they do these things nowadays. They trace your IP address, they track down your device, and they disable it from making further accounts. So I switched my phone, got into my Juan account that was banned, tried to warn people the best I could, and then I think about an hour after my first account got deleted, my second account got erased completely. So on my phones, on all my devices, I'm not allowed to make any more profiles. And quite frankly, I'm pretty fucking done with Facebook at this point. It's just gotten so ridiculous. And yeah, and from what I hear, it wasn't just Boogaloo affiliations who were targeted. On Friday, and I don't even know the estimates because I can't get on there. People are saying anywhere between, a few thousand and like 100,000 people were completely erased off Facebook. And it wasn't just the Boogaloo. It was the whole of the Libertarian Party, it seems, or liberty activists. It was a lot of anons. It was centrists. It was the people in the middle of the spectrum who were specifically targeted. The New Libertarian, which is the largest libertarian group, it's been around for years and years. Michael White started it years ago. I was a mod in that group years ago before I gave it up. And that was really one of the foundations of libertarianism on Facebook, and that was completely deplatformed along with countless liberty activists and almost the complete spectrum of the Boogaloos. So we have just been censored into the depths of hell at this point. I have, and a few people are hopping on there, getting new devices and making new accounts. And I just really have no desire to do that. I'm not going to waste my time with Facebook anymore. It has turned into an authoritarian shithole. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this happened on the Friday before the debates that are coming up. And it would appear that, the whole of the Libertarian Party is being silenced. This is election tampering. It's legal election tampering, because when you join Facebook, you sign their policies and service and their terms, and you're agreeing that they're a private entity and they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. And that was what the new term that they were passing on October 1st really pushed that limit. Like they can literally just delete you for anything. And they're going about quieting liberty activists, silencing the whole of the third party in this election. They're taking out the centrists. the libertarians, the ANCAPs, the Boogaloo Boys, the whole center of the political spectrum, and this section operates as a sort of go-between, a middle ground, a referee between the two sides. And we've seen this over and over and fucking over this year, how special interest groups are trying to polarize the left and right against each other. Where do libertarians and centrists and all that, where does that fit in to their plan? It doesn't. And so, no, I don't think it's a coincidence that we were silenced just a few days ago. The debates are coming up tonight. Third parties aren't being represented. They're being silenced. It's just so corrupt. And then we're hearing about all this ballot harvesting going on, all this corruption behind the scenes that are going on with this election. And it would just appear from every single aspect of what's going on that they desperately want to polarize both sides against each other, the left and the right. They want to ignite powder kegs on each team. And it's to the point where, you know, your centrists have been taken out of the equation. Your Boogaloo Boys, who aren't the terrorists we've been labeled, I've referred to it as modern-day Minutemen. That's all it is. We're people who believe in liberty, who aren't afraid to fight tyranny and censorship and all this bullshit that's going on. And you're taking them completely out of the equation. And what are you left with? You're left with people so divided and angry. And these people are getting more and more polarized by the day. And it's leading to a situation where there are definite powder kegs on each side. And regardless of how the ballots are corrupted, regardless of how election day goes and who seals the deal on the presidential ticket here, it would appear like chaos is going to be the only victor. Because regardless of who wins or who loses, who walks away from this thing, it's going to be contested. People aren't going to accept it. And they're going to throw the most epic shit fit you have ever seen. I worry about where we're heading when you have these giant social media platforms censoring specific groups, specific information, and on the other side, they seem to want to feed the fire of anger on both sides. They want to polarize. It would appear like that's their main objective. And so here we are. I am completely banned from Facebook. I'm not even going to bother with getting back on there. If you are a liberty activist, or, you know, you're a truther or a conspiracy theorist or anything along those lines, and you're still on Facebook, you can expect to get the axe here pretty soon. And it's like hardly anyone notices this is going on. It's like hardly anyone notices that, you know, whole groups are being silenced and swept under the rug. And I really hope people catch on to the dirty game that's being played here with the censorship. Just ridiculous. So, I'm pretty much done talking. It's been a frustrating few weeks. If you want to find me, you can look me up under Juan Connor on, let's see, MeWe. I'm on Freenet. Just started a Twitter, so you can hear me yelling about my opinion on there. You know, and some of these platforms I saved because I knew Facebook would eventually boot me off, and I figured it would be best if I just waited and started over with a clean slate. So I'm on Twitter now. I only have a few followers, whatever. I'll eventually grow that. I'm on Keybase. I'm spread out more than I was before. I was only on Facebook before, primarily. It's a huge bitch starting over, but I think it's for the best. Anyway, look me up on different platforms. I'm not going to be on Facebook anymore. Absolutely hate what they've done to the place. Bad news, if you're following the Jo Jorgensen campaign, they're not going to let her debate tonight. So that campaign is dead in the water. You know, anytime they don't let a third-party candidate at least have a voice, the campaign has ended. So it's looking more and more like liberty is dying in front of our eyes. And it's just, it's like watching a train wreck and you can't do a fucking thing about it. Just sad. So look for me on different platforms. Not on Facebook. I'm going to keep this YouTube as long as I can before that gets deplatformed too. Hang in there if you're a liberty activist. Hunker down. Protect your families. Protect your cities. Like, just get prepared for absolute chaos when election day comes and it's highly contested and people want to start the riots worse than ever. I just have a feeling it's not going to be an easy transfer of power, or people aren't going to accept their losses. And we are being set up. This is a complete setup. This whole year has been a setup to polarize everyone against each other, to divide everyone. The world has turned into a stage. This is fucking clown world. You never know what to expect, but I don't expect peace after the election here. Be watching out for that. Protect you and yours. Find some ammo if you can. And be safe out there. I'll try and be uploading more videos, but look for me on other platforms. And I love you all. I will talk to you later.